Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today we are looking at the Ford Maverick. This happens to be the Lariat all-wheel drive Tremor package attached, which gets you more than stickers, believe it or not. This is, as far as I can tell, a top shelf Maverick. You can't put more on a Maverick than is on this car. So yeah, the looks of the Maverick have kind of always been love or hate, I guess. A lot of people just think it's a little too small, it's diminutive, whatever. I like the Maverick. I drove the Lariat Hybrid about 3 or 4 months ago. I loved it. It was great. I really enjoyed it. Fantastic fuel economy. Because of course that hybrid system is great. This is their off-road variant. My question when I decided to book this car, is it all nonsense? Is it just sticker bullshit, right? Because that happens a lot these days. Every SUV has to have an off-road variant, and literally it's nothing. You just pay extra thousands of dollars for, well, nothing. But the Tremor package in the Maverick is a little bit different because you get all this gold / orangey kind of trim everywhere, which of course is not off-road stuff, but it does look cool. I got to give you that. I really like, it's all over the place. It's on the grille, tow hooks, it's on the rims, only one small part of the rim, which is cool actually. It's like an accent detail, isn't it? It's neat. I like it. What else do you get? Well, you get Tremor stickers, of course, but you get a lot of underneath stuff. I'll talk about that while I'm driving, but it looks good. It looks good on all-terrain tires, I gotta be honest. I love all-terrain tires. If you're gonna have a pickup truck, all-terrains are the way to go. If you're wondering about the jerry cans in the back of the 4-foot box, I believe, 4.5, I had planned for some serious, light off-roading today, but that got canceled. And I always take extra fuel with me. There's a lot of extra fuel, but I take extra with me just in case, because I didn't know exactly where I was going, etc. But the guy who was going to come with me canceled, and for various reasons, I don't go into the bush by myself. So yeah, I ended up having to change my plans. But anyway, I am still out. I'm on a campsite here, but there's a paved road right there, so I'm not gonna lie to you. It's beautiful out here, though. Anyway, back to the car. So you get the Tremor. You get suspension components, etc. Let's pop into the back seat before I start yammering about what you get for the Tremor package. So my only real criticism, not my only criticism, but one of my big criticisms, excuse the road noise, of the Maverick when I had it was the rear seat room. It's pretty tough back here. This is my seating position, and I'm 5'8", and it's fine for me, don't get me wrong, but most people aren't midgets like I am. So sorry, little people, apologies, poor joke, but I've got about 2 inches, and I've got a couple inches in headroom, so it works great. But my kids, who are now, one of them anyway, is taller than me, actually do find it difficult back here, quite tight. Sorry for the stuff. Again, a little bit of off-road prep. Usually I don't have crap cluttering the back seat, but today I do. You get the standard sort of cup holders here, etc. This one, again, this comes with that blue-gray color combo thing that is the only color I've ever seen in a Maverick. I am told that you can get like a tan beigey kind of combo, but I've never seen it, so I'm not going to believe it until I do. You get these handholds. That was actually something else I didn't much care for on the Maverick. They're strange door pulls because when you reach for it, for me anyway, sometimes my hand slips through. And I don't know, you adjust, don't get me wrong, right? It's just, they could have finished it, I guess, to accommodate a bottle here. I don't know, right? Feels like a strange design compromise, but otherwise, you get the keyless or the keypad entry system. The code is usually in the manual. I love that. That's cool. If you gotta lock your stuff in the car and go somewhere else, you're good to go. I love that. Ford is really, I think Ford and Lincoln are the only ones that do that, and I like it quite a bit. The front seat, very standard Ford. Let's fire it up. The start button is down there. You get, hold on, I don't think I turned my phone off. Let's hold on one second here. All right, we're good to go. Sorry. So you get the requisite kind of fixed tack, fixed speedo, and then a digital cluster in the middle, controlled by, largely speaking, these controls on this side. You go Yes, okay, thank you. So this is the trip odometer, fuel economy, runtime. You can go through all the usual stuff, right? Very, very standard. Very Ford, sort of blue, black, gray. They're very requisite design language, what have you. The typical Ford steering wheel, all of this stuff. I think these components are all shared among the Bronco Sport, the Escape, etc. on down the line. There's a lot of chassis sharing, however we say that word, in the Ford lineup that way, which is perfectly fine. This is a very bespoke interior otherwise, though, because of the color panels, the strange angular stuff they got on the dash here and inside the door panels, but it's cool. I don't mind. You get Ford, is this Sync 4? I think it's Sync 4. Yes, or is it 3? I'll have to look that up. Sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head. It's probably on the sheet in the back seat. You get standard HVAC controls here, which is really cool. I'm glad it's not all buttons. Power, wireless charging. This little gizmo here, this, I don't know why. Okay, it seems stupid, but I love, here. Look at that. A rear window on a pickup truck is like a unicorn. You hear about them, but you don't really see them that often. Not in lower spec pickup truck. It's actually quite an expensive option. It feels like they always jam that into the top tier packages, and you can't have it unless you're willing to pay an arm and a leg for everything else that goes with it. But I love the fact, I mean, this, like I said, this is top shelf, so you get that right in the back. Very cool. You get a sunroof. It's a $1,300 option. I believe that's a standalone, so you don't have to package that. Small sunroof and that little manual slider, but that'll probably never break, so that's good at least. And that's it. You get this fabric. This is not leather, but I didn't look up what it's called. You get the contrast stitching, which is really cool. You get sort of again, more of that goldy orange stuff here that says Tremor on it. Ooh, very nice. I would have preferred a textile, something like just a regular fabric, not this. I don't like this stuff. And if this is supposed to be your off-road version, I want durability, not this. I will say the seats are incredibly comfortable. That surprised me. As soon as I got in, I was like, ooh, even better than I remember. So let's put the seatbelt on. Let's do a little bit of a drive. So, excuse me as I struggle with that. Holy smokes. Okay, e-brake off. So, I forgot. Center console, how could I forget that? Excuse the garbage in the back. Hope you guys like the American-sized Red Bull. That was all they had at the gas station this morning. So you get the twisty shifter, typical of a lot of these small Fords. Your e-brake, etc. These are your controls. So this is the Tremor button here. Hold on a second. Let's tinker with that. It shows you what you can do. You got normal drive mode, tow haul. Doesn't tow much, so don't worry about it. Slippery, okay. And then mud ruts, sand, and then back to normal. You don't get a sport mode in this thing. I really like that because this is not a sporty vehicle, not even remotely. It is not going to be. It doesn't take the, so they haven't even bothered, which kudos to Ford for that. You get four-wheel lock, electronic four-wheel lock, or four-wheel drive, sorry, diff lock, etc., etc. It's good to see all that stuff in the Tremor package because it actually, it's not just a bunch of stickers and some nice colors. There's actual equipment on this thing. When you get the Tremor package, which costs an additional $5,400, you get upgraded suspension, you get an extra inch of lift, you get bash plates underneath, which I really approve of, all-terrain tires, special rims, yeah, a whole bunch of stuff that actually makes you feel like you would take this on a light logging road. You are not fording rivers, rock crawling, pushing boulders out of the way, none of that crap. Just super easygoing off-roading. So yeah, again, I wanted to take this thing off-road, but it didn't work out. That's the way life goes sometimes. So yeah, here we are. We're, for anybody's reference, Cayush Creek, which is along the Duffy Lake Road. Really beautiful place. Here in sort of just east of Pemberton in British Columbia. Right before the snow comes. It's going to start snowing in the next couple of weeks around here, so I wanted to squeeze in a trip before the weather shuts me out until spring. So, and this was the perfect vehicle to do it with. Yeah, this is a really nice truck to drive. The hybrid version was, again, fantastic. It was on standard tires, so road noise wasn't as bad as it is in this one. This thing, when you drive over a rough road, and portions of this road are really bad, you yeah, you really hear it, and then you'll hit a smooth part of the section of tarmac and it's perfectly fine. So, you know, it really is road dependent, but it doesn't handle the rough stuff as well. And you feel it as well. That was the other thing. You feel all the vibration of those little rough road sections right into your feet, which isn't bad either. It lets you know that the road isn't exactly spectacular. Let me think. What else? Oh, starting price. Okay, so the Maverick starts right around $37,000 Canadian. That's gone up a bit, I think, in recent months. What else is new? This one, so it has a Tremor package. It has a sunroof. It has a Lariat. So it is a top shelf model with the Tremor package added. That's about $13,000 in options. It's a lot of money. You top out right around $50,000 for Canadian for a Maverick. Yeah, okay. I say it a lot in videos, but that's a lot of money, isn't it? That being said, whether or not you would pay that's up to you. I don't think I would. Personally speaking, I'd probably go for the hybrid, and, you know, because if I'm going to spend 50 grand, there are probably better off-road choices. But the Maverick sits in the market almost by itself, because it is the only one I can think of anyway, that it's a true small pickup. There are plenty of full-size, tons of full-size, lots of mid-size pickups. And then there's this, which kind of, you know, the closest competitors, I guess, would be the Honda Ridgeline and the Hyundai Santa Cruz. But both of those are actually, I haven't confirmed this, but they feel bigger. Neighbor of mine has a Ridgeline, and he parked it right next to this thing, and it was bigger. Not by a ton, but it was bigger, and it drives differently. This drives like a small car. It's a little different in this version because of the tires and the suspension setup, etc. So, you know, keep that in mind. But this still drives like a small truck, and I love that. The track is narrow, which is really cool. So if you don't care too much about scratches on the paint, you could take this thing up some pretty tight and narrow trails, and it would handle it just fine. Just, you know, watch your clearance. And I love that. I love how narrow it is. It makes it very, very agile. And then when you're not bashing around the bush in this thing, which is what you'll be doing most of the time, you can park it in the tightest spot in an underground parking in, you know, anywhere downtown. It goes everywhere, and I dig that. You know, this is the off-road version. It doesn't feel any taller. It's probably a little bit taller, but it's so compact it doesn't matter. And again, you know, I think it works, you know. And they do give you in this Tremor package real off-road equipment, you know, which most of the time you just don't get. You know, you might get a little bit of suspension lift and a bunch of stickers, but that's about it. So, yeah, the Maverick the gas-powered non-hybrid version is the 2-liter EcoBoost. Of course, EcoBoost is Ford's vernacular for turbo. You get about 255 horsepower, 270 pound-feet of torque. That is not what I feel when I drive this car. You know, you can put your foot down, etc. It's just, and again, maybe it's because of its setup, etc. It's, you know, a little taller, etc. I don't really feel all that power, to be honest, but it doesn't feel underpowered. I drove the Bronco Sport last week, and that was abysmal. That was an even smaller engine, mind you, but a similarly sized car. So, you know, it goes fine. It's not lacking for power. It's just not. It doesn't light your hair on fire, give you the fizz. So keep that in mind. Fuel economy is the other factor. Some of these small Ford EcoBoost engines are far thirstier than they should be. That Bronco Sport I drove last week, I didn't get to record a video with it because I was sick and my voice was shot, and nobody wants to hear me croak my way through a video. So that one has a 1.5 liter EcoBoost and gave about 12 to 13 liters per 100K. Really poor fuel economy. The whole point of a small engine is fuel economy, because you get no power, and that had a sport mode, and it was ridiculous. It was not a great engine. This is a huge improvement over that. This engine should be in the Bronco Sport. I don't know why they do that, whatever. Yeah, there are good 1.5 liter turbo engines out there. You know, the Civic Si is a 1.5, right? Turbo? Yes, it is. So, you know, take that as an example. That's a wonderful engine. So this has, you know, this is a lot better than that. This is a 2-liter EcoBoost, and you get paired to an 8-speed automatic. The transmission's very smooth. The engine's smooth, etc. Just a little underwhelming on the power side of things. The kicker is fuel economy. So I was concerned about how thirsty this thing would be. So I wanted to not just drive it in the city, where it over 300 kilometers it produced fuel economy of 12 to 13 liters per 100k, whatever that is in mpg. So very similar to what I got out of the Bronco Sport. And the Bronco did not improve as much on the highway as I hoped it would, but I wanted to give this thing a good hyper mile and see how it performed. And it improved immensely, because we are now, where are we? So I've been driving, since I fueled, 260 kilometers, most of it highway. So yes, it is hyper miling, but we're at 9.3 liters per 100k. And that includes climbing into the mountains here. We're quite ways up. So I was doing the switchback and stuff, and that chews through a bit of fuel too. So right around 9 liters per 100k when you're hyper miling this thing, which isn't bad. That's a lot better than I expected, to be honest. So that's nice to see. And what else is there? This is a comfortable car. I've covered, well, 260 kilometers so far today. Been behind the wheel for 4 hours, and it feels great. It feels very... Yeah, as soon as I hopped in and sat in these seats, they were very comfortable. You get heated seats, you get heated steering wheel, which I've had on all day, and it's great. It's just a very comfortable place to be. Sightlines and visibility are great out of the greenhouse, no problems there. I love the Maverick. I think it's a fantastic truck, and if I was seriously considering buying my own pickup truck, I would consider one of these. I think it ticks a lot of boxes. So I guess that'll do it. I wanted to show you guys this thing. I should apologize. I really wanted to make more of an off-road orienting video so you guys could get nauseous while watching the truck bounce all over the place on a logging road, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But we'll try next year. I'm gonna try and get out to the bush more often next year with some interesting vehicles. So yeah, I guess that'll do it. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, blah blah blah. We'll see you guys in the next one.